Welcome to our channel. Today, we are diving into the stunning island of Kos, Greece, known for its rich history, breathtaking landscapes, and vibrant culture. Join us as we explore the top 10 things to do in Kos, whether you're a history buff, a nature enthusiast, or simply looking for an unforgettable vacation experience. Number 10. Cavo Paradiso. For a beach in a wilder environment, make your way south from Kefalos towards Cavo Paradiso at the far south of the island. There isn't the smallest sign of human habitation on the rugged, arid slopes framing Cavo Paradiso. At the deserted southern end stands a tall, craggy headland, and this part of the beach is for people who really value privacy. The breezes and surf are a little livelier at Cavo Paradiso, so swimming can be tricky, but there's a big shallow area to paddle in. Number 9. Neratzia Castle. The Knights of St. John built this fortification in the 15th century to guard the entrance to the harbor at a time when Kos was in the sights of the Ottoman Empire. The castle has two layers of walls, the innermost being older and dating to the mid-15th century, while the outer wall is from the turn of the 16th century. After Kos was captured by the Ottomans in the 1500s, the castle was a garrison and the seat of the island's commander. The space inside the walls is mostly empty, with broken columns strewn across the ruined courtyards. But you may be intrigued by the abundance of spolia, recycled ancient building material. This can be found throughout the castle, but is most visible on the main gate, where there's a Hellenistic frieze of garlands and masks, under the newer coat of arms of Grand Master Emery d'Amboise. Number 8. Western Archaeological Zone. Opposite the Odeon is a sprawling archaeological site at the intersection of the ancient city's primary north-south Cardo and east-west decumanist streets. You can inspect the 3rd century surface of the Cardo, still etched with grooves from ancient wagons. There are also two early Christian basilicas, a stadium from the 2nd century BC and a gymnasium from the same period with 17 white marble columns. By the portico to the gymnasium are the western baths from the 3rd century, with one of the largest mosaics on the island. Number 7. Tigaki Beach. This beach in the north of the island, a breeze from Kos town, faces the south coast of Samos across the straits. It's not hard to see why families love Tigaki Beach. The shore is well served by accommodation, there are tavernas at regular intervals, and best of all, the sea is as calm as can be on normal summer days. The beach is long, sandy and broad, and is also low shelving, leaving a large expanse of clear, warm water to swim in. Hang around until dusk when you can look west to see the sun go down behind the island of Kalymnos. Number 6. Roman Odeon. On the southern outskirts of Kos town stands the ancient city's restored Odeon. Built in the 2nd century AD, this was a music conservatory and doubled as a meeting place for the Senate. At that time the Odeon had a roof and was able to seat 750 people on 14 rows of stone benches. The first 9 were made of marble and reserved for the city's elite, while the granite back 5 were for normal citizens. Since the structure was excavated in 1929, those front 9 rows have been restored. Number 5. Agios Stefanos Beach. A few things come together to make Agios Stefanos Beach a scene of real beauty. The beach itself is likable, with a mixture of white sand and pebbles. But what makes it so special is that it sits on a channel of twinkling turquoise water, facing Castri, a picturesque islet crested by a tall rock. You can hire a pedal boat to cross the channel, explore the islet and see the church of Agios Nikolaos. On the low promontory on the eastern fringe of Agios Stefanos Beach are the ruins of 2 early Christian basilicas, built in the 4th and 5th centuries AD. The buildings were eventually toppled by earthquakes and excavated in 1932. Number 4. Palio Pili. If you have a car, make sure to spend a day traveling across the island's interior, where you'll happen upon delightful little villages, mountains and historical sites like the abandoned village of Palio Pili on Mount Kio. It seems impossible today, but from the 11th century to the 19th century this was the capital of the island. Palio Pili was abandoned from 1830 during a cholera epidemic and its houses are in various states of ruin. On the mountaintop are the crumbling walls of a Byzantine castle founded in the 9th century and later bolstered by the Knights of St. John as a last refuge from pirate attacks. Number 3. Casa Romana. Discovered in the 1930s, this 36-room villa in the south of Kos town has been completely restored to shed light on affluent domestic life on Kos almost 2,000 years ago. Constructed around 2 peristyles with splendid columns and a smaller atrium, The house dates to the 2nd century AD and sits on the foundations of an earlier residence from the Hellenistic period. The reconstruction makes clear what is real and what is new, and there are statues of nymphs and Athena, amphorae, coins, mosaics and faint frescoes to see, all well labeled with interpretive signs. Number 2. Ancient Agora. The commercial and social soul of ancient coves, the Agora is near the port, a few steps down from Neratzia Castle. One of the largest agoras in Greece, it was first laid out in the 4th century BC and its houses and sanctuaries had to be rebuilt repeatedly after a series of earthquakes. As limestone is used in the oldest constructions and marble in the new ones, it was possible to identify the ages of the muddle of ruins here, and information boards have been set up every few steps to make things clearer. Number 1. Asclepion. The place where Hippocrates was trained in the 5th century BC was discovered not far from Kos town in 1902. Raised above the Kos plain, the Asclepion is the sanctuary of Asclepius, the god of medicine. People suffering maladies would travel from far and wide to seek treatment at the permission of the sanctuary's priests. A modern visitor can download an app to see 3D reconstructions of the sanctuary as they wander through it. The spas, medical school and abaton, priest's sanctuary, are on the level above, while at the uppermost terrace stood the Great Altar, once commanded by a monumental statue of Asclepius that was later replaced with a church. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more travel adventures and inspiration.